Good morning, listeners, and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. This week, Team 6 is here and is made up of Heather, Jessica, Margaret, Marcy, and our engineer, Gordon. The news this week is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier, dated the 29th of January 2026. As usual, the news will be broken into parts. And can I remind you that when you have listened to the whole recording, please post your wallet back to us from a postbox and not the post office. So we'll now start with general news in part 1. Lead story this week: jobs boost as TV giant to build sustainable new campus for 3,000 staff. And the article's by Ross Thompson. Sky has confirmed plans for a major investment in an expanded state-of-the-art Scottish office in Livingston, with full planning application having been submitted. The development underscores Sky's long-term commitment to West Lothian and will support thousands of jobs and drive regional economic growth. The proposals will extend the site by an additional 15 acres, taking it to over 21,000 square metres in size and be home to around 3,000 staff. The campus will be designed with sustainability in mind, featuring an ultra-low energy 3-storey building powered by renewable energy, including on-site solar panels. The project will replace 4 existing buildings at Curtin campus and leased space on the Alba campus, creating a modern, flexible environment for Sky colleagues. Amenities will include modern event spaces, a meeting centre, cafe, restaurant and activity-based workspaces. Existing facilities such as the gym will also be upgraded with state-of-the-art features alongside extensive new landscaping. Dana Strong, Sky Group CEO, said, "Livingston has been home to Sky's leading customer service operation for more than 3 decades, and this investment demonstrates our long-term commitment to the region and confidence in Scotland's pivotal role in the UK economy. The campus development will support thousands of jobs and create opportunities for local businesses. Designed with sustainability in mind, it will set a benchmark for innovation and regional growth. The project will deliver significant benefits to the local community, including landscape green spaces and active travel links. Sky is committed to using local supply chains wherever possible, creating opportunities for SMEs and local businesses to contribute to the project's delivery and ongoing operation. This significant investment in Scotland is part of Sky's wider commitment to investing across the UK and comes only 4 months after Sky was granted planning approval for the expansion of Sky Studios Elstree, Sky's state-of-the-art film and TV studio. The expansion will enable a further 10 stages to the complex in Boreham Wood, Hertfordshire, unlocking development that is expected to create over 2,000 jobs and attract $2 billion of production investment to the UK within the first 5 years of operation. Livingston MP Gregor Poynton has welcomed confirmation of a major new investment by Sky. Mr. Poynton said, "I welcome this major investment from Sky in its Livingston campus. Having seen the plans firsthand during my visit, it is clear this development represents a significant commitment to the local economy and to the people who work here." Sky has long-standing presence in the Livingston constituency, and this announcement demonstrates its continued dedication to its employees and to serving customers across Livingston and wider Scotland. This investment sends a strong signal about confidence in our local workforce and the future of this area. It is positive to see a major employer choosing to invest, grow and plan for the long term in Livingston, supporting good local jobs and opportunities for years to come. And there's an artist impression picture of the proposed state-of-the-art offices for Sky in Livingston. Now over to Jessica.
Smile helped to launch Plan to Stop Suicide by Ross Thompson. A West Lothian mental health charity played host to the Scottish Government as it published its new Suicide Prevention Action Plan. Minister for Social Care and Mental Wellbeing Tom Arthur visited Smile Counselling, a Livingston-based charity for children, young people and their families. During the visit, the Minister heard about the work of Smile in supporting children and young people's mental health and preventing youth suicide, including through school counselling, as well as from wider partners about their roles in preventing youth suicide. Declan Harrigan, Smile CEO, said, "We warmly welcome the Suicide Prevention Action Plan and are hopeful that its ambitions can be fully realised through strong partnership working across the third sector, statutory services and communities. The clear focus on children and young people, early intervention and addressing inequalities reflects what we know is needed to prevent suicide and save lives. We strongly support the plan's emphasis on community-based approaches and believe that increased training and development at a local level around suicide prevention, intervention and postvention is pivotal. By building confidence, reducing stigma and equipping communities with the right skills and compassion, we can work together to create suicide-safer environments and, wherever possible, prevent deaths by suicide. We look forward to continuing to play an active role alongside partners in supporting children, young people and families, and in helping to turn this shared vision into meaningful life-saving action." The latest official statistics from National Records of Scotland show the number of probable suicides in 2024 decreased by 11% compared to 2023. That was the lowest number since 2017. Total mental health spending is expected to exceed £1.5 billion in 2026-27. Minister for Social Care and Mental Wellbeing Tom Arthur said, "Every person lost to suicide is a tragedy with far-reaching impacts on families, friends and communities. Suicide prevention is everyone's business, and I am determined that everyone has timely access to the right mental health support. While the latest official statistics show a decrease in the number of probable suicides, there is no room for complacency. The suicide prevention funding has increased to at least £3 million in 2026-27, up from £2.8 million. The increased budget will allow us to focus on tackling the stigma of suicide, encouraging people to seek help and providing a range of support for people affected by suicide. The new plan is focused on prevention, early intervention and reaching those who need support most, including young people and those impacted by social inequalities, stigma and discrimination. I want to thank Suicide Prevention Scotland and the many other local and national partners, especially those with lived experience who helped shape this plan." Paul Kelly, COSLA spokesperson for Health and Social Care, added, "Suicide prevention cannot be achieved by working in silos. We need to work across government, local and national, and with our communities to address the complex factors involved in creating conditions that can increase suicide risk, as well as harnessing those that promote better mental well-being. This new action plan is informed by learning from both national and local delivery and emerging practice. It builds on the ambition and achievements of the previous plan, accelerating progress towards our shared vision that everyone in Scotland can access the right support at the right time." And over to Margaret.
New Specsavers store opens in Bathgate. An article by Ross Thompson. A Bathgate Opticians has opened its brand new store in the town centre, relocating from its previous premises to offer local people the very best in optical and audiology care. Specsavers Bathgate has moved further down George Street into a larger unit, which features 4 testing rooms, state-of-the-art equipment, a dedicated contact lens area and increased capacity as part of the 6-figure investment. As well as additional space, the store can now offer more enhanced services such as optical coherence tomography, that's OCT, eye scans and 3 hair care clinics a week. The unit also significantly larger than the previous store, allowing the team to showcase and stock more frames, as well as a new relaxed environment with a larger, spacious waiting area. Mona Scott, store partner at Specsavers in Bathgate, said, "Lots of hard work has gone on behind the scenes in the past few months to get the new location ready. So I want to say a big thank you to all of the team for making it possible. We're hugely excited to be opening our brand new Bathgate location, which is significantly larger than our previous store. Every step we've taken is to improve our services for the community." The store will open 6 days a week and will feature state-of-the-art equipment, including an OCT machine. This technology allows optometrists to take a 3D image of the back of the eye to help spot serious eye conditions, including glaucoma, up to 4 years earlier. To book an appointment or speak to a member of the staff at Specsavers Bathgate, visit www.specsavers.co.uk/stores/Bathgate. And there's a photograph of the whole team in their new premises, and it looks very nice. And over to Marcia.
Busy year ahead for job centres. The Bathgate and Livingston job centres are gearing up for a busy and exciting year, with plans to expand its support for job seekers, strengthen partnership with local employers and deliver more opportunities across the community. With new job fairs, specialist support and a continued focus on helping people move into meaningful work, the team is ready to make 2026 a year of growth and success. Looking ahead to the year at the local job centres, Darren Gray, External Relations Lead for West Lothian, said, 2026 is set to be a big year for us. Our team is focused on building even stronger connections with businesses and helping even more job seekers find the right roles. We're planning a full programme of in-person and online job fairs, collaborating with our trusted partners and employers to maximise the opportunity for our customers to find paid and continued employment. We will continue to work closely with employers, some of whom will be recruiting directly from our job centres across West Lothian. We'll also be expanding our specialist support, including tailored events for young people and the over 50s, while growing our links with local employers such as Tesco, Amazon and Taskmaster. These partnerships will help us move people into jobs faster, with better matches and more opportunities across a wide range of sectors. With hundreds of vacancies available on the findajob-gov.uk website at any time, from hospitality to healthcare, job centre staff are committed to helping people take their next step into fulfilling work throughout 2026. Darren added, our youth hub and our new relationship with West Lothian College will play a vital role in supporting young people as they navigate the world of work. Whether it's CV guidance, interview coaching, or introductions to local employers, we'll be offering hands-on support to help them build confidence and seize new opportunities. Our message to job seekers is simple. If you're ready to start your journey, 2026 could be the year your next opportunity begins. Secretary of State for Work and Pensions Pat McFadden said, this week's figures show there are 513,000 more people in work compared to this time last year, but also highlights why we must go further, especially for our young people. That's why we are investing $1.5 billion to get hundreds of thousands of young people earning or learning. while former Health Secretary Alan Milburn is leading a review to help us get to the root of what is holding the younger generation back. Through our job guarantee launching this month, we are helping the young people find paid work placements, and we urge employers to come forward and join the likes of EON, JD Sports, Tesco and TUI, who are already pledging their support. And back to Heather.
Brazen prowler snapped on CCTV stealing from an early morning raid. Article by Jacob Farr. The moment an early morning prowler snooped around a family home was captured on camera. At around 3:50am on Monday, January the 26th, a man wearing a grey hoodie with a black jacket and dark trousers was seen walking down a driveway on Pumferson Road, Uphull. He is later captured looking around the property's garden. According to the homeowners, the man discovered their parcel box and stole money that was dropped off for a local bowling club fundraiser, as well as an every parcel. The man appeared to have a scraggy face with red hair and a beard. This person was in our drive this morning, the homeowner said. He had a good nose all around and has stolen items from our parcel box. We didn't know they had been delivered by Every. A friend had also left donations for a charity race night we're having on Friday in the parcel box. We didn't get a chance to retrieve them before the theft. Our wee bowling club in Uphull Station is struggling like a lot of small clubs. I haven't had a response from the police yet. We would be grateful for any information or if anyone has anything on their cameras. Police Scotland have been approached for comment. And there's a photograph of the man being captured on camera with his face blocked out. And over to Jessica.
MP urges Starmer to support Endo Register. Bathgate and Linlithgow MP Kirstine Sullivan has urged the Prime Minister to support the creation of a national endometriosis registry to improve diagnosis, treatment and outcomes for the 1.5 million women across the UK living with the condition. Endo Warriors West Lothian have begun a petition to the Scottish Government to create a national database to record patient outcomes and treatment. This is in response to years without a national evidential record of treatment and its outcomes. The petition has received over 1,300 signatures. Jessica Smith, a Merseyside-based women's health advocate, started a similar petition directed at the UK government calling for a national endometriosis registry and audit with over 8,500 signatures. During Prime Minister's questions, Kirstine asked, 1.5 million women in the UK live with endometriosis, a painful and life-changing condition. As chair of Endometriosis APPG, I met Jessica Smith and Endo Warriors West Lothian to discuss their campaigns for a national endometriosis registry to capture and audit diagnosis, treatment and outcomes. Will he join me to commend the work of Jessica, Endo Warriors West Lothian and Endometriosis UK, and will he meet me to discuss creating a registry to improve the lives of women with endometriosis? In his response, the Prime Minister commended Miss Sullivan and others for their campaigning work and agreed that far too many women are left in pain. He advised that the government is investing £8 million in research on diagnosis, treatment and pain management, and that the Minister for Women's Health would be keen to meet with Ms Sullivan to discuss a registry. Speaking after PMQs, Kirstine said, endometriosis is a chronic, painful and often life-altering condition that can take nearly 9 years to diagnose. Campaigners and clinicians have long highlighted the need for better data to understand the scale of the problem and to drive improvements in care. Women with endometriosis deserve faster diagnosis, better treatment and a healthcare system that truly understands the condition. A national registry would be a major step forward in delivering the change they need. I will continue to work alongside campaigners to push for meaningful progress to support the 1 in 10 women living with this condition across the UK. Endometriosis is a chronic condition where tissue similar to the lining of the womb, the endometrium, grows in other parts of the body. It primarily affects the pelvic area, including the ovaries, fallopian tubes, and the lining of the pelvis, though it can rarely spread to the lungs or brain. Symptoms can include painful periods, pelvic pain, bowel and bladder issues, and fatigue. Endometriosis UK representative Faye Farthing said, "We welcome today's important Prime Minister's question raised by Endometriosis APPG Chair Kirstine Sullivan MP, calling for the introduction of an endometriosis registry. We know that there are significant data gaps in understanding the true state of endometriosis care in the UK, and that a national data audit is important if we are to understand the challenges those with endometriosis face and how the UK government can make the necessary changes to ensure the necessary capacity and resource needed to meet patient demands. It would also potentially help improve diagnosis time, access to treatment and management, and help monitor progress of patient care. With the government currently renewing the Women's Health Strategy for England, we hope that menstrual health conditions, including endometriosis, will be prioritised." A spokesperson for Endo Warriors West Lothian added, "Endometriosis has the power to completely dismantle lives, yet patients are still being failed by long delays, inconsistent care and a lack of meaningful data on outcomes. This petition exists because we deserve better understanding, better accountability and better care. Progress will only come when lived experience is taken seriously and used to drive systemic change. We are hugely thankful to Kirstine Sullivan MP for her continued support." And over to Margaret.
Motion to ban loud fireworks approved. Adamson urges Council Chief to ask Starmer and Swinney to support removal. It's an article by Stuart Somerville. West Lothian has agreed to a motion calling for a ban on the manufacture and sale of loud fireworks. Conservative councillor Alison Adamson called on the council's chief executive to write to both Sir Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, and John Swinney, Scotland's First Minister, urging a ban. She called the current firework legislation in Scotland a toothless tiger. The motion calling for a ban on the sale to the general public of noise-making fireworks was passed without amendment. Councillor Adamson told a meeting of the full council, "The current legislation is woefully inadequate, a toothless tiger in fact. Noise levels have never been dealt with considering the legal framework that is in place." She added, "The noise-making fireworks are attractive to the antisocial element that create misery, stress and fear within all of our communities. Pet owners, farmers, ex-service personnel, parents of young children, vulnerable people like the elderly, people who are neurodiverse or who suffer from mental health or anxiety conditions, and animal rescue centres and zoos are all being subjected to loud fireworks. There's absolutely no need for it." The councillor pointed to the unbearable pressure put on emergency services and the NHS as a result of firework misuse. The attraction is the loud bang, the louder the better for some, and removing that element would make a huge difference to that attractiveness. Councillor Adamson reiterated her belief in the inadequacy of existing regulations, including the introduction of firework control zones, pointing to disturbances in Edinburgh since the legislation came into force. She told the meeting that a private member's bill was currently going through Westminster, calling for a reduction in firework noise from a maximum of 120 decibels down to 90 decibels. That was, she said, the difference between a jet engine or chainsaw and standing next to a motorcycle or subway train. Both were capable of causing hearing damage. She reminded the meeting that police had recovered fireworks caches in West Lothian last year, valued at £70,000 and £100,000. These were not for family-friendly events, she said. She also pointed to the illegal misuse of pyrotechnics at the recent Hearts versus Falkirk football fixture in Edinburgh. Seconding the motion, Councillor Peter Heggie, fellow Conservative and Deputy Provost, told the meeting, "I think we can all agree the use of fireworks has changed over a generation. It's now antisocial behaviour. There's no getting away from it. In certain streets, it is constant for close to a month. There's no way that can be acceptable. Police and fire crews are under incredible pressure as it is. It comes down to considering your neighbours." And there's a photograph of Councillor Adamson with a catchline, "Anger, Councillor Adamson wants a ban on loud fireworks." And now over to Marcia.
Store overwhelmed by young shoplifters. A story by Cara Blackhall. The owners of West Lothian convenience store have told of their shop being targeted by young shoplifters after school. Asia Farouk, who runs Fair Price Food Store in Craigs Hill alongside her husband, believes more needs to be done to crack down on thefts. Over the past few weeks, the team have shared a number of CCTV clips highlighting school children allegedly stealing from their store. One recent incident involved two youths who nicked a number of sweets and crisps after the school day. The 36-year-old claims they suffer from regular thieves, and due to staff rotating, the youths aren't always recognised. Asia believes it's an issue across West Lothian, and the children believe there are no consequences. Speaking to Edinburgh Live, she said, "It's just such a regular occurrence for us. It's a really big deal because we are just a small family-run store. Most of the kids are coming from school and they come in regularly. If my husband and I are working, we will recognise them and tell them to go away, but right now it just feels like there isn't a lot we can do to stop them. It happens at lunchtime and after school when they take chocolate bars, crisps, sweets. Some of the bigger children have tried to take alcohol before, but they always get caught. It's a lot more serious then because they are underage. One boy actually tried to shove alcohol down his trousers before. It's an invisible loss to us, and there needs to be bigger consequences for the kids." The couple believe issues surrounding thefts have a bigger impact on smaller stores. Asia added, "As the small business owner, theft isn't an abstract issue. It directly affects my ability to stay open, pay employees, and keep prices fair for honest customers. Every loss adds up. Parents also play a role on teaching kids respect for others, people at work and property matters. Accountability at home helps prevent harm in our community. Bigger stores can handle situations like this a lot better than small shops. It's really important to spread awareness because they could steal something more expensive elsewhere or get into more serious trouble." And the picture shows the people targeting Fair Price Food Store at Craigs Hill with the faces blurred out. And back to Heather.
And that brings us to the end of part 1. And welcome back to part 2. We will start with the family announcements. This week there is only one intimation. James Mitchell, Jim, 14th of May 1936 to the 7th of January 2026. Peacefully at St John's Hospital on Wednesday, the 7th of January 2026, surrounded by his loving family, Jim, aged 89 years. Beloved husband to Betty, treasured dad to Wilma, cherished granddad to Dean, and a dear friend and neighbour. He will be deeply missed by all who knew him. Funeral service will be held at West Lothian Crematorium on Monday the 2nd of February 2026 at 2 p.m, to which all are respectfully invited. At the family's request, no flowers. And now over to Jessica.
Man 43 charged. Police have arrested and charged a 43-year-old following a number of calls about a man in a state of undress near a busy West Lothian road. Locals in Bathgate reported the incident on Tuesday, January the 20th. Officers attended at the Edinburgh Road area of the town and detained the man. He was later charged in connection with a report of public indecency and appeared at Livingston Sheriff Court on Wednesday, January the 21st. A post on social media from Police Scotland read, We are aware of several reports from members of the public about a male in a state of undress in the Edinburgh Road area of Bathgate on January the 20th. We can confirm that officers attended at the time and arrested a 43-year-old male. He was subsequently charged and held in custody to appear at court. Sergeant Lee Brodie said, "We would like to thank the public for reporting this matter to us. Anyone with information is asked to contact police on 101, quoting incident number 1810 of 20 January. And over to Margaret.
MEP Poynton meets up with RAC residents, an article by Ross Thompson. Gregor Poynton MP and Scottish Labour's housing spokesperson Mark Griffin MSP have met residents affected with RAC within the Livingston constituency as pressure continues to mount on ministers to deliver meaningful support for homeowners across Scotland. During visits to RAC-affected streets in Craigshill, Mr Poynton and Mr Griffin listened directly to the harrowing experiences of constituents living with unsafe building materials in their homes. Residents spoke of years of uncertainty, the emotional toll of living in properties deemed unsafe, and the ongoing financial strain caused by falling property values, difficulty securing insurance, and the absence of a clear route to remediation or rehousing. RAC was widely used in Scotland between the 1950s and the 1990s and is now known to be susceptible to failure, particularly where moisture has led to deterioration of reinforcement steel. Campaigners have repeatedly warned that without urgent intervention, residents will continue to face unacceptable risk and hardship through no fault of their own. The visit follows sustained engagement by Gregor Poynton MP with affected residents, including formal correspondence with Almond Housing Association and a detailed submission to the Scottish Parliament's Citizens Participation and Public Petitions Committee in support of petition PE 2113. That submission set out the lived experience of RAC-affected homeowners in Livingston and West Lothian, and called for urgent Scottish Government action, including financial assistance, consistent guidance, and a national remediation strategy. Despite these local efforts, the Scottish Government has yet to bring forward sufficient funding, clarity, or long-term support for homeowners. This failure was underscored again in the most recent SNP budget, which included no meaningful provision for RAC remediation across Scotland and no progress on cladding remediation, leaving thousands of families in limbo. While support given to Aberdeen has been welcomed, residents in Livingston and across West Lothian say it is unacceptable that the rest of Scotland has been ignored. Campaigners have repeatedly warned against a postcode lottery approach, with homeowners elsewhere left to shoulder the burden alone. Housing is a devolved matter, and while there are clear limits on what a constituency MP can deliver directly, the visit with Mark Griffin MSP demonstrates a shared commitment from Scottish Labour to keep RAC at the top of the political agenda at Holyrood and to ensure the voices of affected residents are heard where decisions are made. Commenting, Gregor Poynton MP said, "What we heard during this visit was deeply concerning. Residents are living with constant anxiety about their safety and future of their homes, facing financial loss and emotional stress because the Scottish Government has failed to act. I have raised these issues consistently on behalf of my constituents, including through formal submissions to the Scottish Parliament, but another SNP budget has come and gone with nothing for RAC homeowners and nothing on cladding remediation. That is simply not good enough. While there are limits on what I can deliver as an MP, I will continue to work alongside Mark Griffin and affected residents to keep pressure on the Scottish Government until real practical support is delivered for communities like Craigshill." Mark Griffin, MSP, Scottish Labour's housing spokesperson, added, Meeting residents in Livingston and hearing their stories firsthand make it impossible to ignore the scale of the failure here. People have been left waiting for years for clarity, support and reassurance, while SNP ministers continue to drag their feet. Scottish Labour has been clear that RAC requires a national response. The Scottish Government cannot continue to help one area while ignoring others. Homeowners in Livingston deserve the same urgency and support as anywhere in Scotland. Earlier this month, a meeting planned between RAC campaigners and the Scottish Government had to be pulled at the 11th hour after the chair of the National Campaign Group, Wilson Chowdhury, sustained a knee injury. Now members of the group, including Livingston's Kerry McIntosh, are hoping for a new date to meet with Holyrood officials. As a local democracy reporting service highlighted at the start of the week, a national campaign is fighting for compensation for homeowners affected by crumbling concrete in their homes. And there's a photograph of MP Gregor Poynton alongside Scottish Labour's housing spokesperson Mark Griffin. The photograph's been taken outside one of the homes in Livingston. And over to Marcia.
Council sign new telecommunications deal by Ross Thompson. West Lothian Council has announced a multi-million-pound deal with a new telecommunications partner. ComsWorld, a leading UK-wide provider of networking and connectivity solutions, has secured a 15-year contract worth over $8 million to deliver and maintain a new Wide Area Network, or WAN, for the council. The long-term contract will involve ComsWorld replacing West Lothian's current existing service with a brand new network providing a tenfold increase in available bandwidth and access to faster, high-quality and resilient connectivity. It will see ComsWorld deliver high-capacity WAN services across the West Lothian Council estate, including schools, libraries, community facilities and administrative buildings. The upgraded network will strengthen the council's digital backbone, significantly enhancing internet access, data security, systems reliability and the performance of essential public service applications. The fibre infrastructure will be linked to ComsWorld's Optical Core Network, OCN, a next-generation network which it built specifically to boost security and resilience of digital infrastructure to organisations the length and breadth of the UK. To further extend coverage in West Lothian, ComsWorld will establish a new Points of Presence, POPs, locally. This will mean lower latency, that is, faster connectivity, improved cloud application performance, and lower lag for schools, public services and businesses. Craig Scott, ComsWorld Public Sector Development Director, said, "We are delighted to have secured this 15-year contract with West Lothian Council to provide a new WAN network for the region. We have successfully delivered massively enhanced infrastructure to local authorities across Scotland and England. It means customers are now enjoying the full transformative benefits of our optical core network, including lower latency, as well as increased bandwidth, resilience and security. We look forward to providing this step change in connectivity and resiliency in West Lothian." Ian Forrest, IT Services Manager at West Lothian Council, added, "Partnering with ComsWorld enables West Lothian Council to fully realise the value of our existing investment in networking infrastructure. Throughout the duration of the contract, this collaboration will allow us to maximise the benefits and capabilities available across our digital estate. By optimising the total fibre bandwidth within our overall network design, we are creating a step change in connectivity across all council sites, both today and for the future. This enhanced digital foundation will support the delivery of truly transformational services and make it even easier for our communities to access the support they need." And there's a photograph of a delighted Craig Scott. And back to Heather.
Traveller proposals received. Councillors across the chambers in Livingston praised the work put in to review the response to travellers' encampments. A short-term working group was set up in September after a plea by SNP councillor Andrew Miller was supported by a full council vote. Broxburn's Conservative councillor Angela Doran-Timpson had proposed the council lobby for a change in the law following a series of unauthorised encampments across the county last summer. Deputy Chief Executive Dr Elaine Cook told this month's meeting of the full council that the working group had met 3 times so far. Council officers have been asked to identify potential sites which can be used by travellers. There are currently none in the county. The council had to rely on a sheriff's order to remove travellers from the sites in Livingston, Bathgate and the Broxburn and Linlithgow areas over the summer. Clean-up costs for the sites ran into tens of thousands of pounds, with the council having to call in specialist contractors to remove asbestos and other building waste, as well as timber and garden refuse. The cross-party working group also has input from the police, community councils and various council departments. Councillor Sally Patel, Lib Dem Linlithgow, said being a member of the group was an invaluable experience. She added, "I'd like to say thanks to Elaine and to Councillor Conn and Councillor Doran-Timpson for their chairing duties. It was a huge amount of work we were able to power through before Christmas. It was very positive to see the number of different agencies and departments that had come together to discuss this. I really want to pay tribute to the work of officers in getting us along the road as far as we have come, and I very much look forward to working on the next part." Councillor Doran-Timpson said she too wanted to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of everyone involved. She cautioned on the identification of potential traveller sites and stressed that local residents would have to be involved in the decisions to ensure fairness to both local residents as well as traveller groups. Councillor Miller told the meeting, "I would echo the comments, thanking the chairs for doing a really good job. It has been a really positive experience so far. Hopefully, we are moving toward a more positive approach to traveller engagement, and I'm looking forward to it continuing. The working group will report to the April meeting of the Corporate Policy and Resources PDSP and the May meeting of the full council." And now back to Jessica.
Snow Leopard Neela is social media success. Five Sisters Zoo is celebrating another viral success after a video of its snow leopard Neela captured the hearts of millions across social media. The clip, shared on Instagram and Facebook, has amassed over 15.2 million views and 1.5 million likes on Instagram and more than 11 million views and 961,000 likes on Facebook, marking Neela's second viral moment in just over a year, following a previous video in September 2024. The video showcases Neela's striking beauty and natural behaviour, offering viewers a rare and captivating glimpse of one of the world's most elusive big cats. The overwhelming response highlights not only Neela's star power, but also the growing public interest in rescue stories and wildlife conservation. Neela arrived at the Five Sisters Zoo in West Calder in 2019 alongside her sister Aruna, after both were rescued from the illegal wildlife trade. As the pair matured, keepers observed that they were no longer compatible, and in line with best animal welfare practice, Aruna has since moved to another specialist facility better suited to her needs. Neela has continued to thrive at Five Sisters Zoo, where she receives expert care in a secure and enriched environment. There's a lovely picture with the caption, "Superstar Neela, the snow leopard, is enjoying life at Five Sisters Zoo. She is a really beautiful animal and every inch the superstar." And over to Margaret.
Potential disruption for residents on estate. An article by Stuart Somerville. Residents on a West Lothian housing estate have been warned of potential disruption as building that neighbours didn't want gets underway. Land in the centre of Westerange Bathgate was promised as a village centre 20 years ago, but that never happened. Instead, the site became a wilderness, but also a green lung for the densely built housing estate that replaced the former industrial area south of the town centre. Persimmon Homes won an appeal to the Scottish Government after West Lothian Council refused its plans to develop the site in 2024. The firm has a base in Westerange and said the development would enhance the community. The firm said that it would create an authentic village centre feel. It added, the proposals include a variety of housing and retail facilities, which have long been desired by the local community. We've listened carefully to the views of local residents and ensured the new proposals incorporate their priorities and address their concerns. That includes prioritising the earliest possible delivery of the retail facilities to providing dedicated parking. Only 4 retail units will be built. The rest of the site will be a high-density development of 85 houses and flats on a site bordering Simpson Avenue and Leyland Road. Local councillor William Boyle and Pauline Stafford led criticism of the plans when they first came before the Council's Development Management Committee in April 2024. A spokesperson for the West Lothian Council confirmed that this week that construction work was now underway and warned of the potential for disruption. The spokesperson told the local Democracy Reporting Service, during the construction period, temporary traffic lights will be in operation on Leyland Road and Simpson Avenue as and when required to ensure the safe movement of both pedestrians and vehicles through the works area. Where construction vehicles are entering and leaving the works areas, banksmen will be in place to ensure the safety of pedestrians. The developer has also been encouraged to ensure that there are no deliveries or excess construction vehicle movements during the start and finish times of nearby Simpson Primary School. The site, planned as a village centre, was greened during the initial housing development and been used and recognised as an open space ever since. It was always earmarked for development as a retail area. However, the latest plans are predominantly for housing. The justification for the changes are that the nature of retailing has changed in the last 20 years. Filing their objections at the initial lodging of the plans in 2024, neighbours cited fears of extra traffic in the area, which is already heavily congested with motorists, especially at school drop-off and pick-up. Now, with more than 2,000 homes in Westerange, the area can feel very oppressive, Councillor Stafford told the meeting of DMC, which rejected the proposals initially. At that meeting, Councillor Stafford said, of course retail has changed, but communities haven't changed, and the community in Westerange has grown organically in the last 20 years, despite there being almost no community space available. So I think it is an insult to them to put up 4 tiny units. Westerange does have quite an oppressive feel, and when you drive through it's almost a breath of fresh air when you get to this one point that is an open space. And over to Marcia.
HMRC warns over Vinted sales. As West Lothian residents look to the likes of Etsy and Vinted to make room in their wardrobes this year, tax professionals are raising the alarm. HMRC now has visibility into online selling activity, and non-compliance could lead to in-depth investigations or large fines that exceed people's earnings. From the beginning of this year, HMRC started receiving data on sales and uses for anyone who has more than 30 transactions per year, regardless of profit. On Vinted particularly, reporting thresholds were tightened, and users who either do 30 sales a year or exceed £1,700 of gross sales over 365 days must now have their data reported with HMRC. Lee Murphy, Managing Director of the Accountancy Partnership, a leading accountancy firm that specialises in tax returns for Amazon and eBay, said HMRC uses the platform, whether this is Etsy, Vinted or even eBay, to match against each individual's tax return. Those who've exceeded an annual trading allowance of £1,000 and also fail to declare this may receive reminder letters to ensure that they get their tax return done. While you may think this is just a scarce tactic, ignoring these types of letters may lead to further full tax inquiries and even criminal investigations. Mr. Murphy added, if you are selling unwanted personal items and not making repeat trades or drop shipping, then you're unlikely to face HMRC scrutiny. If you do, however, earn over £1,000 from your side hustle each year, or you exceed 30 sales within 1 year, then you must let HMRC know about this to avoid getting any fines or being under any sort of criminal investigation. To work out how much tax you should be paying for selling items online, you can check using the tax calculator via https://www.theaccountancy.co.uk. And over to Heather.
And that brings us to the end of part 2. And welcome back to part 3. And we will start this section with the quiz. And there are 6 questions. Good luck with them. Question 1. What type of food is rigatoni? A. Pasta, B. Bread, C. Rice. Question 2. Which animal does the word cervine relate to? A. Deer, B. Goat, C. Horse. Question 3. Which sign of the zodiac is also known as the Archer? A. Scorpio, B. Sagittarius, or C. Virgo. Question 4. In cricket, which former England slow bowler was nicknamed Deadly? A. Phil Tufnell, B. John Embury, or C. Derek Underwood. Question 5. In which war in 1854 did the Battle of Balaclava take place? A. Crimean War, B. Boer War, C. First Opium War. And question 6. Who plays the role of Roy Cropper in ITV's Coronation Street? A. Andy Whymeet, B. Sam Robertson, or C. David Nielsen. And remember to listen in at the start of part 4 for the answers. And now over to Jessica.
MSPs welcome creation of new housing agency. Article by Ross Thompson. Angela Constance MSP has welcomed new action from the Scottish Government to increase housing supply in Amond Valley and across Scotland with the creation of a new national housing agency. The new agency, More Homes Scotland, will focus on simplicity, scale and speed to help deliver more homes, reduce duplication and improve efficiency. It is expected to begin operating from 2027 to 28, subject to the outcome of the Scottish Parliament election. The move builds on the SNP's £4.9 billion Housing Emergency Action Plan announced last year, which aims to increase housing stock, end unsuitable accommodation for children and support growth in the housing sector. Angela said the SNP's Scottish Government is determined to tackle the housing emergency and ensure people in Amond Valley have access to safe, warm and affordable homes. Since 2007, the SNP has supported the delivery of over 141,000 affordable homes, including more than 101,000 for social rent. This new agency will help us go further, faster. While others talk, the SNP is taking bold action to deliver the homes families across Amond Valley and Scotland urgently need. The Scottish Federation of Housing Associations, SFHA, has welcomed the proposals for the new agency, saying it recognises social and affordable housing as a key driver of both economic growth and tackling poverty, but added that it will need further funding to deliver its aims. Richard Mead, the SFHA's chief executive, said, "Whilst we await further details on the proposals for a new housing agency, we do appreciate the Scottish Government's willingness to explore reforms which can accelerate the delivery of the safe, warm and affordable homes Scotland needs to end the housing emergency. It is crucial, however, that any reforms to delivery are underpinned by significantly increased public funding beyond what has already been announced in the Scottish Budget and Spending Review. We know from the research that over the course of the next Parliament, meeting Scotland's housing need will require annual public investment of £1.6 billion to deliver the 15,693 social and affordable homes we must build each year. Any new housing agency must work in partnership with Scotland's housing associations and cooperatives and be laser-focused in our shared mission to deliver the secure, warm and affordable homes everyone deserves." Linlithgow MSP Fiona Hislop also praised the creation of the new agency. She added, "Housing is one of the biggest issues I deal with as a constituency MSP, and we know there is a national housing emergency. The introduction of this new agency will help ensure that more families can access a safe, warm and affordable home. This action will ensure progress is made in eradicating child poverty as well, a key priority for the Scottish Government, and I know these plans will be welcomed by my constituents across West Lothian." And there's a picture of some nice new houses with the caption, "Welcome Boost, More Homes Scotland will aim to deliver more properties." And over to Margaret.
Tartan Tea Party to raise funds, an article by Rose Thompson. One of Scotland's leading health charities is asking people across West Lothian to get the kettle on for a special cause this year. Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland is bringing back its signature event for 2026 after raising £49,000 last year. The 2026 Tartan Tea Party has been launched by the charity this week, encouraging people across Scotland to get involved and gather their brew crew for a fundraiser on International Tea Day on May the 21st. Last year's Tartan Tea Party raised more than £49,000 through dozens of parties from Annan to Aberdeen and all points in between. Louise MacLeod, Community Events and Corporate Fundraiser at Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland, said, "At CHSS we say never underestimate the power of a cup of tea. Living with or supporting someone with one of our conditions can be challenging, and events such as the Tartan Tea Party are crucial to create time for people to get together, share support and advice as well as have fun. We had a fantastic first year and we're looking to build on that success in 2026 by encouraging as many people as possible to host a Tartan Tea Party of their own and get in on the fun. Our friendly fundraising team is on hand to help to organise your big day. The charity is encouraging as many people across the region as possible to join the Tartan Tea Party, whether it's friends and families, playgroups, nurseries, schools, sports clubs, community organisations or local businesses. CHSS aims to reach 175,000 people living with its condition by 2028 through its community healthcare support services. Funds raised through activities such as the Tartan Tea Party are essential in supporting this goal. To access free resource to help you organise a Tartan Tea Party, to remember, head to chss.org.uk/Tartan Tea Party. And over to Marcy.
Agreement on Rules for Properties by Stuart Somerville. West Lothian Council is to tighten up its inspection regime for council houses. The changes were agreed by an often fractious meeting of the full council, resulting in rare crossbench agreement. A common theme across the chamber in Livingston was the desire to cut down the number of void or empty homes which require thousands of pounds of refurbishment after abandonment. Refurbishment of void homes costs the council in excess of £500,000 a year, with most left in the worst state of repair, requiring more than £10,000 a house to be made fit for re-let. Conservative Angela Doran-Timpson initially proposed a motion calling for an improved inspection regime for council houses, but eventually backed an amendment raised by the SNP's Pauline Orr. Labour had raised its own amendment to the proposal, but it too decided not to pursue it, with council leader Lawrence Fitzpatrick saying the party would back the SNP motion. The extraordinary moves followed earlier breaks in the meeting for parties across the chamber to composite motions and amendments. Councillor Doran-Timpson called for regular inspections at 6 and 12 months, as well as additional support for vulnerable tenants, targeting intervention on properties likely to be abandoned and more funding to manage council housing. Councillor Doran-Timpson said, "This is why this motion is so important. It's reintroducing regular inspection and strengthening early intervention. It isn't just about saving money, it's about protecting homes, supporting tenants and ensuring families waiting for homes aren't left waiting for years." Councillor Orr's amendment went further, stating consideration should be given as to how existing arrangements can be enhanced. The introduction of an initial check-in of the property 3 months from tenancy start to determine if this will assist in identifying any early potential concerns and support decision-making around regularity of future inspections. The motion and 2 amendments stressed recognition of hard work already done by the Central Voids team, which coordinates repairs and reletting, and the council's 33 housing officers and 15 estate officers. Advocating the new check 3 months into new tenancies, Councillor Orr told the meeting there is scope for more to be done at a pace. The council needs to strengthen measures. Tenants need to realise that they do have a responsibility. Cost of malicious damage should be recoverable from the tenant. We are a landlord just like any other. Backing a Labour amendment from Executive Councillor for Housing George Paul, Councillor Andrew Maguire, Independent, said, "I think there's much to be commended in all 3 motions which have been placed before the council. It's a shame we could not composite them. Key is we have no statutory right to enter tenants' homes. We have to have engagement and build relationships with people. Unfortunately, we are never going to stamp out the poor condition that some properties are returned in. The difficulty for the council is that it wears 2 hats. It is the guardian as last resort of housing with a statutory duty to tackle homelessness, and also a landlord, as Councillor Orr highlighted, and those 2 things can conflict with each other and create problems we are never going to get away from. I think the programme underway to improve void times has been helpful, and I hope that we can reduce the void times." And the picture shows a toilet in a total mess. Some council homes were left in a disgraceful state. And over to Heather.
Debbie feels fab at 50. West Lothian woman celebrates milestone birthday after shedding over 6 stone. Article by Ross Thompson. A West Lothian woman has celebrated her 50th birthday in style after losing more than 6 stone during her weight loss journey. Debbie Oswald from East Calder marked the milestone this year with more confidence, energy and happiness than she's felt in years, and for good reason. She's an amazing 6 stone, 7.5 pounds lighter, full of life and loving every moment at her target weight. Her journey began with a single tough moment of realisation. She said, "I joined Slimming World when I saw myself in photos with friends. I looked huge in comparison to them, and that was my turning point." At the time, Debbie was borderline diabetic, living with high blood pressure and struggling with arthritis. Every day life felt harder than it should, but through dedication, support and a love for food optimising, everything has changed. Today, Debbie is completely medication-free, her arthritis has improved greatly, and she finally has the energy she deserves. No more hiding at the back of the rails when clothes shopping. She now enjoys choosing outfits that make her feel fabulous. She's spending more quality time with her family, feeling lighter physically and mentally, and embracing a new zest for life. She even recently underwent an operation, something she knows would have been extremely difficult with her previous weight. Her determination has not only transformed her health, but opened doors to experiences she once thought were out of reach. One thing that's kept Debbie going is how perfectly Slimming World fits into her lifestyle. She loves cooking family-friendly meals, enjoying a good cooked breakfast and still socialising with friends without feeling like she's missing out. Following Slimming World's healthy eating plan has become second nature, not a chore. Debbie is proof that it's never too late to make a change. She isn't just 50, she's fab at 50, glowing with confidence and loving life at target. Consultant Sue Scorer, who runs the East Calder Slimming World group Debbie attends, said, "I'm so proud of Debbie and everything she's achieved. She's a real inspiration to the whole group. Her commitment, positivity and support for others make her a true inspiration. We're a close-knit group who celebrate each other's success every week, and she really does show just how life-changing losing weight with Slimming World can be." Slimming World's community-based support plays a vital role in its members' success. Weekly group sessions ensure members get the best start to their week with group discussion, helpful tips and motivation from others on the same journey. The East Calder Slimming World group is held every Thursday at 3:30pm, 5:30pm and 7:30pm, and Wednesday at 9:30am and 11:30am at East Calder Bowling Club. Sue also runs a group in Geddes House, Livingston, every Thursday at 9:30am, and new members are always welcome, including if you're taking weight loss medication. You can call Sue on 07803 520 and there's a photograph of Debbie looking fabulous in a lovely outfit and showing off her new figure. Over to Jessica.
Inspectors hail great work of pupils and staff by Ross Thompson. A number of strengths were highlighted by education inspectors during a recent visit to Harrismuir Primary School in Livingston. The inspection team spent time in the school in November last year, and during their visit they talked to parents, carers and children and worked closely with the head teacher and staff. Education Scotland published the findings from their inspection on Tuesday, January the 20th, with inspectors marking the school as good across 3 quality indicators: leadership of change and learning, teaching and assessment, and ensuring well-being, equality and inclusion. The school was evaluated as satisfactory for the final quality indicator, raising attainment and achievement. The inspection team found a number of strengths in the school's work. They praised the head teacher's strong leadership has helped the staff team to create a positive and caring school where children's rights are at the heart of everything. Children, staff and parents feel valued and included as part of the school community. With strong guidance from the leadership team, staff have worked together well to improve writing across the school. This has led to clear progress, with children achieving better results in writing. Children demonstrate the school values very well. They are inclusive and respectful in their relationships with each other and staff, and engage well in their learning activities. The staff's strong focus on improving well-being is making a positive difference for children and families across the school community. Areas for improvement were identified and discussed with the head teacher and representatives from West Lothian Council, with inspectors concluding they are confident that the school has the capacity to continue to improve. Harrismuir Primary School head teacher Frances Stewart said, "I'd like to thank our dedicated school staff who look to make a positive difference for our pupils on a daily basis. It is good to see this has been reflected in the feedback from the inspection team, and teaching staff will look to take forward recommendations as we continue to strive to make Harrismuir the best possible environment for our pupils and the wider community." And with the article is a photograph of some of the pupils of Harrismuir, all looking very proud and happy in their maroon sweatshirts and blue polo shirts, and the teachers are very happy too at the back of them. And the caption is, "The hard work has been recognised by Harrismuir Primary School pupils." And over to Margaret.
Go. World Cup holiday is welcomed, an article by Ross Thompson. Almond Valley MSP Angela Constance has welcomed the news of a proposed extra bank holiday to mark Scotland's participation in the World Cup. First Minister John Swinney has confirmed he will propose Monday the 15th of June 2026 as a national bank holiday to mark Scotland's participation in the tournament for the first time in almost 30 years. The proposed public holiday would take place the day after Scotland's opening match against Haiti in Boston. It would give people, businesses and organisations across Scotland the opportunity to come together and celebrate this historic moment. The First Minister said, "Scotland's qualifying for the Men's World Cup is a remarkable achievement and a proud moment for the country. The reaction to the win against Denmark showed just how much football means to people across Scotland. This is a chance for us all to enjoy the occasion and to celebrate together whatever the result of the match. It is also an opportunity to showcase Scotland on the world stage, support tourism and business, and strengthen our cultural and sporting links. That is why I am proposing that the Monday after our first game is made a national bank holiday." Angela Constance MSP also welcomed the proposal, highlighting the benefits for local families and attractions. She added, "This is welcome news for families and communities, including those visiting Almond Valley. A public holiday will give people more time to spend together and to enjoy local attractions while celebrating Scotland's return to the World Cup. Events like this bring people together and provide a real boost for local tourism and businesses." The proposed holiday would recognise both the sporting importance of Scotland's return to the World Cup and the wider benefits for communities across the country. A day can be appointed as a bank holiday in Scotland by royal proclamation. The First Minister is able to advise the Privy Council and Advisory Board to the Monarch on proclamations for Scotland, which are then formally signed off by the King. Scottish Tory leader Russell Findlay supported the move, but suggested it could be the First Minister's most expensive pre-election bribe to date. It would be churlish to oppose this given the achievement of the Scotland's men's team in reaching the World Cup finals, he said in response to the announcement. "I'll be glued in the wee small hours like everyone else to our first match, but it appears John Swinney has given the green light for a 2-day hangover in Scotland. However, there is a serious point to be made about why the First Minister has decided to do this. Given we are now in an election year, the cynic in me thinks this is the most expensive pre-election bribe to date." While Scottish Lib Dem leader Alex Cole Hamilton urged Swinney to go further. The Scottish Government needs to go further to help make sure pubs get late-night licences to show the Scotland games, he said. Your local grassroots rugby or tennis club should be allowed to open up too, because I'm sure there's members who would pack them out even at 2 a.m. We've already had fantastic support from the pub trade for our proposals. It's time to make this a summer to remember. And there's a photograph actually of the Livingston team manager celebrating. It's obviously a goal from Livingston, I would say. But the caption is, "Scotland's success could see everyone get an extra bank holiday. And over to Marcia.
This is Give a Dog a New Life. Perfect guest Ruby waiting for her forever home. Dogs Trust Pet for the week. Staff reporter. Ruby is a super 3-year-old crossbreed waiting for her forever home. Ruby is currently being the best house guest in foster care, and a typical day for her at home starts with a short morning walk, then straight home to gobble up her breakfast. She likes to sleep off her food on the sofa next to her foster carer while they work from home. Throughout the day, she also likes to show off her skills like paw and sit. She is very intelligent. Her favourite thing in the whole world is a snuffle mat, as she is such a big foodie and she loves the challenge. Ruby loves a chill morning, and then her energy levels rise by midday, where she's ready for another walk, which she likes to remind her foster carer about that it's time for. Ruby is always up for a walk and is so happy to go with her foster carer on a third walk, then return for dinner before winding down on the sofa and relaxing for the evening. Her foster carer says Ruby is very patient when putting on her lead and is fine being home alone for short periods as she settles for a snooze. Ruby's favourite carers at the rehoming centre say, Ruby makes my day better as she is the most lovable dog who loves to snuggle and make you laugh when you feel down. The gorgeous girl is looking for an adult-only home where she is the only pet. If you think this beautiful gem would be the girl for you, please contact the team at the Dog Trust West Calder. To find out more about all the dogs patiently waiting to be adopted at Dogs Trust West Calder, visit www.dogstrust.org.uk/West Calder. And over to Heather.
And that brings us to end of part 3. Welcome back to part 4, and we will start with the answers to the quiz. Question 1. What type of food is rigatoni? It's A. Pasta. Question 2. Which animal does the word cervine relate to? And it's A. Deer. Question 3. Which sign of the zodiac is also known as the Archer? And the answer was B. Sagittarius. Question 4. In cricket, which former England slow bowler was nicknamed Deadly? The answer was C. Derek Underwood. Question 5. In which war in 1854 did the Battle of Balaclava take place? And the answer was A. Crimean War. And finally, question 6. Who plays Roy Cropper in ITV's Coronation Street? The answer was C. David Neilson. And now back to general news. Events aim for council, article by Ross Thompson. West Lothian Council is inviting commercial events operators to add some sparkle to the area's fantastic country parks this autumn and winter. Offers are being sought for autumn and winter themed ticketed events at B. Craig's, Armandale and Polkemmet Country Parks. Interested, experienced operators have been invited to put forward ideas for events in any or all of the 3 superb country parks during the autumn and winter of 2026. These would make positive use of the park's facilities and generate valuable income that could be reinvested in essential council services. A marketing pack has been created setting out what each park contains to give operators the chance to use their expert knowledge on what might work best at each location. Any potential ideas should be submitted to West Lothian Council by noon on February the 25th, with a view to having new events to take place during autumn and winter 2026. A West Lothian Council spokesperson said, "We would like to invite any commercial event operators to consider what ticketed events could be operated from our 3 fabulous country parks this winter. It's a fantastic opportunity for operators to put forward ideas, including any suggestions for extending use out with the winter period. For more information, please visit https://www.novoloca, that's novoluco.com/commercial-land/2:let/other/b craigs Amundale and Polkemmet Country Parks /289963. And if you got all that, you deserve to get an award. Now over to Jessica.
41 clubs' ranks are swelled. 12 new members were inducted into Linlithgow and District 41 Club at the club's latest January meeting. All were a tremendous driving force in Linlithgow Round Table, in itself one of the biggest tables in the UK, and bring our numbers to 50. They also significantly reduce the average age. George Wilson hosted a challenging mixed-age quiz whilst generously sharing a thimble each of his recently bottled Longmorn Sherry Cask 61.5% whisky with the company. Sean McMahon was delighted to share his international experience, having just returned from Old Table, Eichsfeld in Germany, confirming our far-reaching fellowship. Linlithgow and District 41 Club meets at Linlithgow Golf Club on the first Wednesday of each month. And there's a picture to accompany the article with all the new members in Linlithgow and District 41 Club. They look as if they're looking forward to doing lots of good things and having fun in the future. And over to Margaret.
Fun-filled dancing at Vets Centre, an article by Rose Thompson. Veterans enjoyed fun-filled dancing events at a charity's West Lothian Centre. Sigma Capital Group and Simple Life Homes recently brought the joy of music and movement to Sight Scotland veterans by supporting the delivery of dance-sing sessions at the charity's Linburn and Hawkhead centres. They have donated one interactive workshop, a 1 year subscription to Dance Sing and 2 radios, with a total value of £33,000. Dance Sing focuses on transforming the lives of older adults through the power of movement, music and mindfulness. Founded with a passion for creating meaningful, engaging and evidence-based resources. Dance Sing supports people to thrive physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually. From a lively Doris Day singing session to more relaxed chair yoga exercises. Veterans thoroughly enjoyed the workshops and gained a taste of the wide range of resources that will now be available to them throughout the year. The visually impaired veterans were guided through song and movement exercises designed to boost physical and mental well-being and to support them stay active, connected and uplifted. Veteran Mick Mears, who has age-related macular degeneration, said, "Today was great because we got to do the activity in a big group. It was great to see everyone up and enjoying themselves, taking part and doing the exercises and singing. It gave everyone who took part a big boost, and you can see how sessions like these are so important to help veterans like me stay active. I love coming to the Hawkhead Centre. It is great to have the opportunity to come try new things like carpet bowls, woodwork, exercise and music." Tommy Duffy, who also has age-related macular degeneration, added, "I enjoyed the dance-sing sessions this morning. It was a bit different to what we usually do because of the music and the sing-along. The staff here are wonderful. They put so much hard work in and they make it fun. It is a great escape from sitting in the house. I thoroughly enjoy it. It is good for your mental health to see all the lads and have a laugh." Natalie Gary, CEO and founder of Dance Sing, said, "We are proud to be working with Sight Scotland veterans. Thanks to our charity partners, Sigma Capital Group and Simple Life Homes. We have provided full access to our digital wellness tools at the centre so everyone can benefit. We're especially excited to bring dancing to the Veterans Wellbeing Programme. They now have a full year subscription, giving them the freedom to enjoy these resources anytime and make them a regular part of their wellness routine. Niall Waldron, Social Impact and Sustainability Director, Sigma Capital Group Limited, added, "Last year, I had the great privilege of meeting veterans and staff from Sight Scotland Veterans during a speed of sight driving experience at Driftland Circuit in Lochgelly. I was truly inspired by the veterans' openness, honesty and gratitude for the day, but above all by their positivity and engagement. That first introduction became a natural catalyst for further meetings and a visit to the Lindburn Centre. Sigma was delighted to donate £5,000 ring fence for this provision and to offer further support through membership and access to Dan Singh's online health and wellbeing platform for all staff and veterans. A workshop and training session filled with fun and movement at Lindburn was followed by a similar day at Hawkhead Centre. In addition, we gifted custom dancing radios, enabling everyone to enjoy daily music designed to enhance listening and mood throughout the day. We look forward to building our partnership and friendship in the months ahead. We passionately believe that such collaborations are a true illustration of meaningful social impact. For more information, visit sightscotlandveterans.org.uk or call 0800 035 6409. And there's a photograph of a session at Lindburn Centre, and they're all up dancing, so it looks like they're having great fun. But I do notice that it's mainly men, so mainly men dancing with the staff. Brilliant. The caption is "Brilliant fun, the dance sessions at the charity's Lindburn Centre." And over to Marcia.
Company and College Coalition confirmed by Ross Thompson. Livingston-based company John Heaney Electrical, JHE, has partnered with West Lothian College for the first time to offer work placement opportunities to students. The company, which specialises in all types of electrical and mechanical, industrial and commercial type installations, has provided work experience to local high school pupils in the past and will now also be working with a further education facility. Third-year student Holly McAdam from Livingston will be the first to benefit from the new link-up with a marketing placement at JHE's head office as part of her HND business course. I'd like to thank JHE for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone and seeing what marketing techniques they use and what works for them just now, she added. The thing that excites me the most is getting experience with something that actually interests me and gaining the practical skill which I can use going forward rather than just sitting learning about it. JHE Management Director Mark Heaney said, "It's great to be collaborating with the college for the first time on something like this. As a company, we are very focused on helping the local community and giving opportunities to young people in the area. I'm really looking forward to working with Holly and seeing what she comes up with. It's always good for a fresh external pair of eyes to look at what we are doing. She wants to pursue marketing for a career, and I'm sure she'll have some great new ideas for us to think about and hopefully implement in due course." West Lothian College business lecturer Romany Ray said, "I first contacted JHE as they are a local employer who works closely with the community. For us, it's all about the student developing the skills needed in the workplace and gaining valuable employer networks to help ensure that they have great contacts beyond the classroom. The placement opportunity is one which all of our HND business students take part in, as this is their final year before going on to university to do their final BA degree year. Our placements provide students with the opportunity to assess their current knowledge and skills and set their own learning objectives to achieve through work placement. This is Holly's third year studying business. This is the first time she will be directly working with the operations of a business, and JHE's cooperation is greatly appreciated. And there's a photograph of Holly standing in front of the John Healy electrical sign, looking very pleased. And back to Heather.
And we'll finish up with a round of sport. Our Wolves end long wait for first win. Wolves basketball under 16 soared to their first victory of the season after some tough, heartbreaking losses by defeating a strong Dunfermline Rain side 80-69 on Saturday at Bathgate Academy. In a match that changed hands and saw sides tied on points 10 times throughout the game, this was an encounter that really demonstrated the Wolves' tenacity. Dunfermline Rain were quick to establish an early lead and ran in 8 points with 2 3-pointers being netted. The Wolves, formerly known as West Lothian Wolves, fought back and racked up 14 points to their tally to close out the opening quarter. Lewis Neal of the Wolves came into his own in the second quarter, scoring 9 points himself, and Wojciech Rozmaislowski added 15 points to solo in the third quarter to put the Wolves in front, 59-55, with just a quarter left to play. The team banded together to ensure they were the ones leaving on top for the first time this season. Connor Prentice stepped up to the mark in the curtain closing quarter to contribute 10 points to their 21-14 to seal the Wolves' victory. And there's a photograph of the team looking very happy and celebrating their win. Over to Jessica.
Livingston FC latest. Comment has Livy Ace in tears. Boss says Bokila left crying after Don's clash. Unhappy Davy Martindale claims red-carded Jeremy Bokila was left in tears after he claimed something had been said to him on the pitch. The sub was sent off 4 minutes after coming on in the Dons' frantic 6-2 win, along with Aberdeen's Jack Milne, after an ugly second-half tussle. Martindale stated that the 37-year-old was so upset that he couldn't repeat the words that he alleged had been aimed at him. The Livingston boss said, "I don't want to turn this into something other than the result. I think there will be enough said about it in the next couple of days, but Bokila is in there crying. He's in a position where he can't explain, or he doesn't want to explain, what he feels he heard. Something was said. He's 37 years old and he said something was said to him. I said, you need to tell me what it was, and he just burst out crying and said, I don't want to say these words. I've moved out at that point, so I can't comment any further than that, to be honest." The Livy manager expects his club to investigate the incident. Martindale added, "Personally, I would imagine so, but again, the club secretary or somebody, I'd imagine they'll speak to Bokila when he probably brings his emotions back down and you can get a rational conversation at that point. So I'd imagine so, but I really don't know." Speaking about the incident, Lions striker Conor McLennan said, "He's a bit down in the changing room. I've not spoken to Jeremy. I know he was upset, but all the chatting in the dressing room was about the game afterwards." McLennan has acknowledged that Livingston's defending at Aberdeen was criminal. It was an unhappy return for him to his old team, and it leaves Livy on a dismal run of form and things with no wins in 23 games. McLennan believes they have the quality to get out of trouble and hopes a revival starts against on-form Motherwell this Saturday. "We've always believed it's going to turn," he confidently predicted. "There's been a majority of games this season where it's been really tight. Today's not been one of them. I believe so, but I've said it this whole time and it's not turned yet. It's something we've obviously been speaking about for a while now. We believe there's enough ability in the squad, and we believe there's enough older heads in the dressing room that have played at this level as well. So I believe there is enough ability and experience to get us out of this, but it needs to turn quickly. And over to Margaret.
Reds roar to 9-try romp. Rampant Linlithgow Reds recorded a 9-try romp at Sheertree on Saturday to put them fourth in the National League Division 4. The Reds made the long trek to Castle Douglas, and despite Sheertree sitting in the bottom half of the division, a very strong diagonal wind made kicking a bit of a lottery, and they knew they had to be on their game to take the win. But there was no sign of complacency as they roared to 22-51 victory. Reds recorded their first try of the day 10 minutes in, scored by informed centre Rory Stewart, who crashed over for an unconverted try. Captain Fraser Mochrie scored the second try when taking an inside offload from Alfie Muir, who had been held up just short of the try line. Jack Frame added the extra points. From the restart, Jack used the wind to push the home side deep into their own territory and forced a goal line drop out. After the ball was safely fielded by Archie Russock, Jamie Tulloch was stopped just short of the try line before the ball was collected by Ross Tulloch, who sidestepped the last defender and touched down for the try. This was converted by Frame to make the score 19-0. After 20 minutes of play, Sheertree produced an immediate response with a well-taken try on what was their first attack of the day. However, normal service was resumed after a solid catch and drive at a line-out was thwarted, but the ball was recycled a few times before Alfie Muir gave the scoring pass to Ross Tulloch for a 5-24 lead at the break. When prop Callum McEwen slipped a well-weighted pass to Frame early in the second half, he accelerated through the defence to score under the posts. Jack added the extras for a 5-31 lead. From inside the Linlithgow 22-metre area, Frame chipped a cross kick that was well gathered by Luke O'Hara, who in turn fed the ball inside to Rory Stewart, who ran fully 50 metres before being brought down. However, he had the presence of mind to release the ball, then regather it before plunging over to the score try. The Reds really cut loose as the match went on, with Stewart contemplating a fine hat-trick of tries on the day. From a rucksack, past the ball infield, with Frame firing out a huge scoring pass to Rory, who stepped past defenders before cruising in for his third try. The Reds' next try came when Frame identified a gap in the home defence and took off from his own 22-metre area. He sliced through the gap and executed a great handoff to foil the last defender and score a fine individual try. To their credit, Sheertree fought on in search of a try bonus point, which they did manage to claim near the end. The final Reds try was scored by Ewan Curran, who barged his way over the line after a final move. On Saturday, Reds host Hamilton Bulls, who are sitting just behind them in the table, so another strong showing performance will be required. And there's a photo of the two teams fighting the game out. And over to Marcia.
Rose back on form. Linlithgow Rose returned to winning ways in the Lowland League on Saturday with a 4-0 win over Caledonian Braves, and assistant boss Darren Wilson feels the side are getting back to their best. The Gallant netted through a double from Lucas Stenhouse, a 40-yard stunner from Callum Ray and a late strike from Jamie Allen. The hosts also had Greg Skinner sent off for a late challenge at 3-0. And number 2, Wilson, whose side are 6th and 10 points off the summit with 2 games in hand, said, "It was a great day at the office. I thought we were good all over the park against a really good Brave side who have been on a good run. The last couple of weeks we have been getting back to our best, and the new boys are starting to understand our system and how we want to play. Others are stepping up and all our players are starting to perform at the right point of the season. Cowdenbeath visit Rose in the Lowland Cup on Saturday. Meanwhile, Broxburn Athletic led a 2-0 lead slip away to Gretna 2008. An early Jamie Doherty double had Brox on course for victory, but Gretna struck twice in the space of 7 minutes in the final quarter of the game to snatch a point. Brox, who are third, are 7 points off the top spot." And over to Heather.
And that brings us to the end of this week's recording. We hope you've enjoyed it. And so we'll say goodbye from the members of Team 6, our engineer Gordon, our readers and copy distributors Jessica, Marcy, Margaret and Heather. Bye-bye.